Hi everyone, from me, Brent Graham of goodforthegame.co.za. Welcome to this World Sports Betting Cape Town Met preview for 2025. We do have a separate Met preview up on the channel, so look out for that. But in this particular show, what we're going to do is go through every race on the card. We'll have a bet for each of those races. And of course, we will cover the main race, the Met as well, but not in the sort of detail that we did in the other preview. Well, let's get straight into it and introduce the panel to you. At the top of the screen there, as I see it, it's Hilton Hasson. He, of course, did join me for the Met preview. Hilton, welcome back, man. Very exciting 12th race card we got tomorrow.
Yeah, definitely, Brent. I think there's some value in a few bets that we'll be able to lend a hand with.
Excellent. And then I don't know if it's load shedding down the bottom there, but Chris, you're sitting in the dark there. Nice. Welcome, Chris. We haven't spoken for a while, mate. Good to see you back on the show.
Yeah, good. I don't know whether it's the camera on my computer or just whatever's going on in the flat, but apologies for the darkness, but I can hear and see you guys, so no problem.
No problem. I know the only reason I mentioned is because I know you went out especially and got a haircut this morning, so I was hoping to show the people in more detail. But great to have you both on. We've obviously got lots to talk about. If you do enjoy horse racing, sports betting, all of that, then give the station a subscribe. Hit the bell and you'll be notified of our live shows. And by the way, 4 o'clock Friday evening, we've got our live rugby betting show for the weekend. It's called the Handicap Rugby Chat That Matters. But gents, we've got 12 races to get through, so I'm not going to waste any more time here. The first race kicks off at 10 to 12 tomorrow, over 1,100 meters. I've got the betting here from the day's sponsor, World Sports Betting. Of course, just to mention, these prices are going to change. This is a recorded show. The prices are correct as we're talking now, but there is going to be movement. And also to mention, we've got links in the description box below. We've got an article with all the information on all the horses and the prices. And of course, Chris's preview where he does put up a selection in all 12 races. And Chris, on that note, I'm going to start with you. This first race, a sprint, we got a Claire de Lune. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. Quite a firm favorite based on some of the other betting I've seen at 15 to 10. What are we looking at here?
I think it's probably the right one, Brent. The one I would say is this is Baby's race. It's the only 2-year-old race on the card. You've got a mix of fillies and colts, maybe a gelding or two as well. They can improve at different rates and knots, and you know they start off going over 800-900 meters. Now this is 1,100 meters, so I wouldn't take the form absolutely as read, but yeah, the favorite looks the right one. It wouldn't be a race that I'd be planning on getting too involved in, if at all, in all honesty, but if pushed for a pick, I'd go with the favorite. Yeah.
Well, I know that Hilton is going to be at the track, but Chris, you're obviously going to watch this probably down in the local pub or Tattersalls there, so probably you'll be settling down, getting your first drink here, won't be getting too involved in this one. Is that what you're planning for tomorrow?
Yeah. In fact, in most of the earlier races, involvement will be kept to a minimum and ramp up as we get later on in the card.
Well, Hilton, you should be at the track by this stage, getting your position up for the day. Anything catch you here in race one, or is it a case of just socializing a bit first before you get into the betting?
Yeah, Brent, I think Chris has probably hit the nail on the head there. You know, it's very difficult with these 2-year-old fillies. You just don't know how they're going to improve. If you just look at the form, Claire de Lune's had 2 very, very good runs. Her second run, she finished just behind Black Cheetah, who then won by 4 lengths on King's Plate Day. So, you know, if she puts it all together, especially with Gavin Lorena riding, I think she's probably the one to beat.
Right, the favourite, the one to beat there. Then the second race, it's the Mallorca Stakes here. This is run now over 1,600 metres. We've got an even money favourite here, Double Grand Slam. And Hilton, I'll let you kick us off on this one. Is there any value in taking on the favourite here?
I don't think so, Brent. To me, and I'm sure Chris will agree, she probably looks like the best bet on the card, to be honest. You know, Fatal Flaws, the way she won the Guineas was really, really good. But there's actually a line of form that you can take with both of them, and that's with the horse Little Susie. And Little Susie finished just behind Fatal Flaw, receiving weight from her, and then next time out, Double Grand Slam beat her by 8 lengths on level weights. So, you know, I think this is probably Richard Free's better ride of the day. I don't know if Chris will agree with me.
Chris, what do you think?
I think you're on the mark, double Grand Slam. I think a lot of the punters that like to play the jackpots and the pick sixes and even the PAs will be a bit disappointed that this is actually race 2 and falls outside of those particular bets, because I'm sure the double Grand Slam would have been a popular banker for many. Fatal Flaw, yeah, the obvious danger. To be honest, at the prices, I thought, and again, it would be a fairly limited interest, but Ruskova, fantastic horse. Yes, something to find with double Grand Slam. But I thought rather than go with double Grand Slam for the win, Ruskova to run in the first 2. I give it a chance. If double Grand Slam fluffed its lines for any reason, not that there's anything to say that it should on recent form, but I'd give Ruskova a puncher's chance of finishing in front of Fatal Flaw. The other one I'd be a little bit worried about, but maybe want to keep an eye on for the future is number 3, Rockapina. This one's been brought along steadily, talented filly, and steps up in trip now. I don't think it's been beyond 1200 before. Now it goes up to the mile. That could unlock some improvement. Also very lightly raced, and I think well thought of from the stable, from its comments from its 2-year-old runs. So I'd keep an eye on that one, but probably one for next time or later on in the season, maybe Durban season. For now, I'd say, yeah, double Grand Slam, definitely the one to beat, and that would be my outright choice. But for a bet, I'd go Ruskova to run in the first 2, just in case the favourite fluffs its lines, and I give Ruskova the puncher's chance of finishing in front of Fatal Flaw.
Right, and that is priced there at 22 to 10. Let's go on to race 3. This is run over 2,000 meters, so we're starting to get longer distances here. Sarti, the favorite here, pretty weak favorite though, at 15 to 4. Chris, what did you go for in this one?
I actually did come out with Saki. I looked at this race for a long time, and Saki let me down last time, and maybe the pace of the race is about the only excuse that you could find, because on ratings it was, it should have been home and hosed. But I think it's done enough previously in its career to be forgiven that run last time out. And to be honest, I thought if I don't go with Saki, I think this is the first leg of the PA. Yeah, I'll probably banker Saki somewhat nervously in the PA, because to be honest, I thought if you don't go with that one, then you could make a case for most of the field. So I'll stick with Saki, but somewhat nervously.
Right, we got to Hilton now. Hilton, before I bring you in on the race itself, that horse, third in the betting, Gimme That Pill, just suddenly caught the eye, because remember many, many years ago, you had started a bookmaker called Black Pearl. That was the first name of it, eh? Black
yeah,
Pearl?
it was absolutely, Brent. 2007, if I'm not mistaken.
Yo, we've known each other a long time. What do you make of this race? It does look a bit tricky from the betting, and as Chris said, he's actually kind of said, well, look, I'm going to go Sarati here, because if I don't, I've almost got to include the field.
Yeah, it is a concern that Pasaki's last run was not impressive at all. So, I'm a little bit concerned to go too narrow in this race. I mean, Rainbow Laurie Keats, 2 runs out, finished ahead of Saki, and she just seems to be sort of improving, coming along the right way. I think if you go with 2 and 7 in the first leg of the PA, you should be safe.
Right, top 2 on the betting board there, which of course then takes us. And I'm assuming this is the case, to the pick 6 Hilton race number 4. Any talk about what sort of pick 6 pool we could be expecting tomorrow?
Rumored to be around 10 million rand, Brent. So it's definitely one of the biggest pools for a while, and it's definitely worth getting involved. It's not easy though, so I think the trick's going to be deciding which of the field races and just hoping everything goes your way.
And I mentioned Pearl in the last race, and that straight away my eyes are drawn to another Pearl, Future Pearl here, number 5, which is priced at 15 to 2. But what have you? What do you fancy in race 4? If I recall from doing the slide at the end of the show, you've actually got a fancy in this one.
Yeah, very much, Brent. Chris, I think you probably follow Joburg racing a lot more than I do, obviously with Royal Victory being based there. So you'd probably have more of an insight into Poets Warrior. In my opinion, it's very difficult for a Joburg horse to raid Cape Town over a marathon distance and go home and take the spoils. So, I mean, you can't fault Poets Warrior's form in Joburg. won the last 3 or 4, and one of those sort of long striding bowling horses. I've fancied Triple Time as one of my better bets of the card. Unfortunately, I think he priced up at around 8-1 when the betting first came out, so there's been money for him. That last run, he was very, very unlucky. I mean, he couldn't find a run for the last 300-400 meters. Richard Free sort of lost 3 or 4 lengths, and he stayed on over a distance much shorter than this. He ran second in this race last time out, and I think if everything goes according to plan, I think he's definitely the one to beat.
Right, Chris, I'm going to come down to you now, and I know you've got the article up on Good for the Game with all of your picks. I quickly had a look at it before, but I didn't get a chance to read, so I've got absolutely no clue what you fancy here. What do you like in this one?
I pretty much said exactly what Hilton's just reeled off there. This Poets Warrior. I am familiar with this. It's actually bred by Dr. Thompson at Ambient Stud, who actually bred Royal Victory. And she's on the WhatsApp group with us for Royal Victory, but she's not shy about telling you when Poets Warrior wins. And she's, I think she's in her early 80s. I've never actually met the lady, but she's hugely, hugely enthusiastic about Poets Warrior. I haven't spoken with her. I've been in touch with her about this race, but just about the horse's career in general since it caught fire in Joburg. And for sure, it's been very, very impressive. I agree with Hilton, though. Coming down from Joburg to the Cape, you're going the other way round, so to speak, as well as the travel factor. No idea how long Poets Warrior has been in town, that said, and it has got Gavin Larena and it's in top form. But when I looked at it, I thought, no, there's a question mark there. And Triple Time, as Hilton mentioned, just touched off in this race last year. I'm sure that this would have been the target for some time, and that would sway me towards Triple Time over Poets Warrior, but still healthy respect for the favourite. And if the favourite does win and Marion Thompson's watching this, then she'll be giving me a clap.
Excellent. And I used that time while you were talking to quickly pull up your article and see, can you believe it? Both of you tipping exactly the same horse there at a pretty decent
price. For the same reason. I would have to say. And for the same horse, same reason. Yeah.
Excellent. Right, Chris, I'm going to stick with you. Race number 5. This will be the first leg of what I assume are 2 jackpots on the day. This will be races 5 to 8 for the first jackpot. We've got a favourite here, a joint favourite at this stage, Captain West and Let It Be Said, both trading at 9-2. So this race of 1,400 meters, Chris, looks wide open.
It is wide open, and unfortunately for me, Brent, I spent a lot of time on this on Wednesday, and just when I came up with the conclusion, which for me was a horse called Solomon's Seal, it was scratched about an hour later. So back to the drawing board and a real head scratcher. I'm really sorry about Solomon's Seal. And the lightning struck twice because it happens to me later in the card as well. But let it be said, that's the backup, but nothing particularly strong. That I could put your way to say this is why. I just informed Snaith, well fancied, a tentative call. Let it be said, but mainly because my first choice was scratched.
Well, I think we've all been there. Certainly you and me, Chris, writing betting previews. We've had the occasional time we've written, for example, a cricket preview only for the game to be cancelled even before it starts due to weather. And you just feel terrible when that happens. Hilt, what do you say on this one?
Yeah, I agree with Chris Brenty. I think I said earlier that you're going to have to pick and choose which races you go wide and which ones you go narrow. I think this is definitely one of those that you're going to go wide. Horses like the Grey King run really well last time, but the time before didn't put up a gallop at all. So you can't really back him with confidence. Let it be said, I think that was probably, if I had to pick one, I'm with Chris, and I think Let It Be Said would be the one. But apart from that, I think this is definitely not a race to go narrow.
Right, so it's spread out of the second leg of the pick six, first leg of the jackpot. You may want to go wide. There's certainly nothing strong for the boys on that one. Takes us to race 6. This run back to the sprint distance, extended sprint, let's call it, at 1,200 meters. We've got Summer Lily once again from the Snaith Yard here. trading as the 13-2 favorite, which is 6.5 to 1. So that tells you Hilton, once again, a very open race.
Yeah, Brent, I'm actually quite surprised to see somebody their price still. I'd be very surprised if she doesn't start around 4 to 1 on Saturday, to be honest. She's just got that sort of come about look about her. Candy Town, definitely going to make the pace, but 1,000 meters, 100% upper alley. I'm just not sure if the 1,200 is going to find her out. One that I am very interested in is Nordic Quest. She comes in the race with some very, very good form. I mean, her last couple of runs have been really good, and I just think that this 1,200 is perfectly suited.
Right, well, just to let you know, we're recording this just before noon on Friday, 4 minutes, in fact, until 12. I quickly had a look at the World Sports Betting website. I can confirm at the time of talking, the 13-2 is there, but from what Hilton says, we can expect this one to shorten. Chris, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'm with Hilton on Summer Lily. I did look at Candy Town, and I think Hilton's got a point about the.
Yelp, did you lose Chris there?
Yeah, Nazan Demons have hit.
The 1,200 was a real speedball.
Oh, he's coming back. I think it's your Wi-Fi, Chris. What I'm going to do, Hilton, is carry on with the next race with you. I'm going to remove Chris from the studio there for the time being and just get him to come back in. But in the meantime, let's go. So you've given us your thoughts, obviously, on race 6. Let's just go to race 7, the Cape Flying Championship, over 1,000 meters. This is a true sprint distance. Dice a favorite here, joint favorite with Give Me a Prince at 7-2.
Yeah, Brent, this is pretty much like the Olympic 100-meter race, to be honest. There's every single horse that can sprint is in this race. It's going to be quick. It's quite interesting because there are a few horses that have been campaigning over 12 and 1,400 meters. You know, like Give Me a Princess and those, and Lucky Lad over 1,000 meters on a fast track tomorrow. I mean, like I said to you, the going is going to be very quick. Just not sure if he's got the toe to keep up with the sort of out and out sprinters. Dice has won this race last year. You know, he has to be respected, but he has only won Pinnacle Plates in Joburg. So, I mean, just not sure if that form is strong enough to win a race like this. King of the Gauls, number 12, very interesting runner for me. Very unlucky last time out. I mean, he pecked as the gates opened. Richard Free almost fell over the front of him. I think that run can be written off. And he has always been touted as one of the best sprinters in the country. And tomorrow he gets his chance to prove whether he is as good as everyone says he is. But 18-1, I can't see him starting that price either, to be honest. And definitely something that comes with a bit of value at 3-1 a place.
So that's interesting, because that's a big price. That while we're waiting for Chris to get back in, I'm just actually doing something which is called kick guest out of the studio. So I'm kicking his old profile out, and hopefully he'll come. I've never done that before, kicking the guest out of the studio. Hilton, talk to me about the wind in Cape Town. Sorry.
How did it feel kicking Chris off the studio?
Yeah, it was great. I think I'm going to do it more often. I decided not to ban him at least, but I've kicked him out of the studio. Tell me about the wind in Cape Town, because of course Cape Town renowned for wind. What sort of difference does that make? For example, I don't know how the wind is going to be blowing tomorrow, but if you're running 1,000 meters into the wind, presumably tactics and that will be very different. It will suit different horses.
Yeah, definitely. And at the moment, the course is running very uneven as well. So it's for the last couple of meetings, the horses on the sprints with the inside draws seem to be getting the better of the horses with the outside draws. So, I'm just hoping that the track is sorted for tomorrow and draw 1 to 18 or get a fair run. I mean, if the wind does blow, I mean, a strong southeastern Cape Town can stop any horses. So, the ones that blitz out to front, they're going to have it all to do, and it's just a case of just whoever slots in behind the sort of leading line and has got that burst. I think that's the race will play straight into their hands.
Excellent. Well, Chris has joined us back. I was just laughing with Hilton. Chris, you're the first person I've ever kicked out of the studio, so it felt pretty good. But you're back in and joined us now, and hopefully 100% back. I'm going to go back to your final thoughts on race 6, but first, we have moved on to the Cape Flying Championship. What are your thoughts on this one? Of course, I assume Chris was back with us, but it's not looking particularly good at the moment. So I'm going to have to kick him again, Hilton. terrible to do it. But yeah, it seems his wife. Unfortunately, the good news with Chris though is Chris has put all of his and I've actually got his article up here as well. So what I'm going to do, Hilton, assuming we can't get Chris back on, I'm going to give you his selections as well as we go through. And we are now going to move on to the main race, which of course you and I previewed separately. Let's talk about the Met there. We don't have to go in as much detail, obviously, but 8 on 18, a worthy favourite. I know you mentioned that 3-1.
Yeah, I think so. It's the reason why 3-year-olds don't have a great record in this race on paper is because 3-year-olds don't often enter this race. And the ones that have entered have had quite a bit of success. 8 on 18 gets the full weight for age allowance. He carries 54. And I think he's got a massive chance. Over further distance, looks like he's definitely going to see the distance. He doesn't have the strongest field to beat. And those 2 runs behind one stripe definitely bring him into the race, and he is the one to beat.
Anything else catch the eye there? Just maybe just a quick summary from your side.
Yeah, I think value punters, if you're looking for a horse at a bigger price, a horse like Montien, great run in the King's Plate last time, sort of came back after 1,600 meters, was headed, came back for second. Might have dispelled the worries that he's not going to stay the 2,000. Listen, obviously the race as it pans out will tell, but he hasn't got the best draw. But that just might make Corne offer have to take his own decision, go to front, go handy, and then just sort of boil along from there. And if he dictates the race at his own pace, then I have no reason why he can't finish in the first 3.
So, well, I can tell you that Chris has done a full preview on the Met as well. But just looking at his bet for this particular race, he's gone for Red Palace from the Canamaya yard with Lorena and the irons, and that is currently priced at 9-1. Yes, we've got a full preview of the Met, so look for that on the YouTube channel, right? Hilton, we're going to move on to the next race, the 9th race. This is the final leg of the Pick 6. It's also the time where you, being at Kenilworth, are either going to be nicely up on the bookmakers for the day, or you're going to be starting the chase as we hit the final 4 races. We've got Garrick here, a 4-1 favourite. Once again, nice open sort of look to this race, which is run over 1,800 meters.
Yeah, very, very highly thought of, this horse, Garrick's, by the stable. His form coming into this race has been excellent. He was drawn 15 out of 16 on King's Plate Day, came wide into the bend, and he made up 8 lengths in the last 400 meters when he finished by Sail the Seas. I have no doubt that he's going to reverse the form with Sail of the Seas tomorrow. I think regulation is probably the danger, and also being a half coming out of the family of Bulgarian who won the July. There's no doubt that he'll stay, but I just think that the Garrix is probably one of the better bets on the card.
Right, and then we have just have a quick look at Chris's article. Yeah, he's gone for Wild Intent. Of course, the Lucky Hoodalaka stable. Once again, Lorena in the irons there. He's gone for that at 7-1. Any thoughts on Wild Intent?
It's also bringing Joburg form, Brent. You know, it's very difficult. He's done nothing wrong at home. I mean, he's never finished out of the first 4, but you know, just coming down, facing a much stronger field as far as I'm concerned. I think he's got a lot to do to win this.
Right, well, I think Chris is trying to come back in, but I'm just going to quote from his article. He says, Aval Raider, Wild Intent, a 2-time winner from just 5 runs and may still be ahead of the handicapper. Let's see if Chris is ahead of the Wi-Fi. I'm going to see straight away if we can bring him in. Chris, you with us, mate?
Yeah, we've actually abandoned the Wi-Fi, but fortunately for me, my eldest girl knows how to set up Wi-Fi hotspots from on normal data.
Oh, okay.
It's something that's beyond me, but that should hopefully mean I'm.
Did you also hear a breakup there, Hilt?
Okay, for between race 6 and
Chris, unfortunately, the signal there is a little bit bad. So sorry, Chris. Thanks for trying, mate, but we're going to have to carry on. We've got Garrick's here. Chris, we did say Wild Intent. Let's go on to the next race on the card, Hilton. It's the 10th over 1,400 meters. 7-2 in a pretty big field. Please be true from the Snape Yard for in the irons. That's what I would call a firmish favourite here in a big field, Hilton.
Yeah, definitely, Brent. And another one that I think looks like the right one in this race. You know, Richard Ferree's up. His form coming to the race has also been excellent. He's run 2 very good 4ths. You know, he ran in that same race that Garrick's ran. He finished about 3 lengths off them and running on very strongly. And I think that this race is right up his alley. And he also looks like a horse that I could have a bet on.
Okay, 100%. That is the 10th race. We're getting deeper into the card. We go race 11, also over 1,400 meters. We've got a firm favorite here when you consider some of the other open races we talked about. Snow Pilot, once again, Nathan Paris, carrying 61.5 kilos. That's half a Brent Graham, I can tell you, on the back. And here we got a 15 to 10 prize, Hilt.
Yeah, Brent, bookmakers always have one or two races on a big day that makes or breaks their day, so to speak. And, Snow Pilot's definitely give me one of those. I can see a lot of doubles going sort of double Grand Slam into Snow Pilot. Definitely the form horse, definitely the class of the race. 13 draw, not ideal. He definitely has the credentials to win this. He has been campaigning against a lot stronger. I think he's a worthy favorite, and the price is about right. One horse that does catch my eye, though, is number 3, Moy Capitano. For some reason, they have never put him over more than 1,200 meters. And on Saturday, he's going to run around 14 for the first time. I think with Gavin Lorena up, I think this is exactly what he's been crying out for. Very highly thought of early on in his career. And I think if there is going to be an upset, Moy Capitano, number 3, is the one that's going to do it.
Right. Well, Chris, let's hope we have got you back fully this time. Just to let you know, last time we just couldn't hear everything we're saying, which is why we had to chop you there. We're in race 11. I am going to go back, assuming we have a decent connection here. I am going to go back to race 10 because I see on your article you posted a real outsider there. But in race 11, I see you've gone for the Real Prince here to run places.
Yeah, I think the Real Prince is a class act. I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. Still relatively lightly raced. Snow Pilot's going to be hard to beat. Hence, I decided I'd go 3 places.
Right, I'm quickly going to, while we got you on, I'm going to hop back, first of all, to race 6, because this is where you were when you first cut out. Just give us your quick summary on race 6.
I was with Hilton on Summer Lily.
Summer Lily, right. And now let's pop back. And I want to do this because I know you had mentioned that you had a 40 to 1 shot, and I've just seen that 40 to 1 shot is, in fact, in race 10. Talk us through this one, Chris.
Yeah, it does look wide open to me. And I thought I've gone with quite a few favourites or well-fancied runners earlier. And the way that we tend to play with the guys on the forum, KT and Southpaw, we always look for the big prices. So it was always in my mind, somewhere along the line, I'm going to find a real Hail Mary. And number 2, Scalini. Now, I've got the computer form here in front of me. And let's get the bad news out of the way first. Something like 619 days since last win, right? So you think, well, what's this guy smoking? Well, about a year ago, Scalini was running off 96. It's now rated 76. It was gelded. It's had 2 runs since gelding. Must have needed the first one. Excuses there. Second time out, admittedly, it was 66 to 1, but that halved to 33 to 1. Finished down the field again, but reported coughing. So excuses there. If you go back to Scalini, pick of its form, because it was reasonably consistent animal once over, and you see how far the merit ratings dropped, anything like a return to the sort of level that he's capable of, plus the 2 draw, plus a price of 40 to 1, or at least that's what it was yesterday. This fitted the bill for my big play of the day.
So it's 60 to 1. Well, Hilton, I don't know what you thought about Chris's justification, but I've never been so confident about a 60 to 1 shot in my life. I can't wait to get on this one, eh? That's what I love about horse racing. You just hear a nice argument like that. I'm sure you're going to have a few rand on this one as well.
Yeah, I 100% agree with what Chris said about the last 2 runs. I mean, there were excuses in both of them. And it wasn't so long ago that he ran a length and 3/4 behind a horse called Sugar Mountain, who is no slouch himself. I mean, he ran in the Met last year. He's running one of the features this on Saturday as well. So I mean, if you got to take the horse's well-being into consideration, and if he has recovered from that gelding and he does find his best feet, then he could be a runner. My only concern, though, Brent, as we were chatting while Chris was offline, is that Southeaster. I think that he just gets at 1,400, and if the wind is pumping tomorrow like they're expecting it to, I think that might not play in Scalini's favor, especially if he goes to the front and doesn't have any cover.
I'm still trying to get over the comment. Oh, sorry, Chris.
Well, he has run 9 times over course and distance and won twice. I must admit the wind, if that was a factor, blowing in the wrong direction for him, if there is a slight stamina doubt, then that could actually, that could torpedo things. But the average merit rating of this field, and bear in mind there's some 3-year-olds that didn't hang about getting out the maidens, and the handicap is usually pretty harsh on them. The average merit rating here is 81. And if you look at what Scalini's been running against, the Sugar Mountain race that Hilton referred to, average merit rating was 102. And then we've come steadily downwards towards the sort of level that he's running against today. We got to hope the horse is well. He's recovered from his gelding. We got to hope that things fall in his favour. But I just cannot believe the price about this animal.
It's a big price, but let's be honest, guys. How do you ever recover from a gelding? I don't think you can. Let's move on then to race number 12. I think we did cover race 11 in full. Chris, I'm going to start with you here. We got the race 12 over 1,200 meters. The US of A, you got to love that name. It's 11-2 favorite. Once again, a fairly weak favorite here against Empire State, which is trading at 6-1. Chris, what have you got for us in the lucky last?
I was running out of steam a little bit yesterday by the time I got to race 12. I'm hoping tomorrow I've still got some money left by the time we get to race 12. A small punt, a win punt on War Chariot. Right,
and that is priced at 11-1 at the moment. So, yeah.
Nice, 11-1, yeah. Muzzy Yaney up. I thought as good a chance as any, to be honest. Speculative play, small play, not price to go with it if it can run in the one box.
Well, great to see Muzi Yeni back. I know he was injured not so long ago. Had to hop off. Royal victory at one point. Hilton, final race. Bring us home. What are you going to tip us?
Yeah, not a race to get too involved in either, Brent. Unfortunately, I think Chris is right, looking for some sort of value. US of A, definitely the best horse of the race, but had his problems. If he puts it all together, I think he'll go close to winning. But you can look at horses like Unbaldi, Tough Terrain, Cork Bay. I just think that this is not a race where if you are losing your money, this is not a race to try and get out of it in one fell swoop.
Right, which we all know as punters, we wouldn't. I mean, it's great advice. Of course, it won't be taken by any of us at all. We're all going to be, if we are down at the stage, going to be desperately trying to get out of it by the last race. Right, Hilton, let's just summarize your selections. You've, of course, said 8 on 18, the one to beat there, 3-1. Montien at 16-1 in the Met. People can watch the full preview for that. But just quickly race us through your let's call it, I suppose, your 3, when I say best bets on the card, I guess you weigh enough price and value there at the end of the day. I mean, You did mention the Double Grand Slam, I think it was in the second race at even money. But we got your 3 horses there, and I've just worked out the treble, the win treble of 111-1 if you take your 3 horses.
Perfect. Yeah, that's great. And like I said previously, it's just a shame we didn't do this show a couple of days earlier when Triple Time was 7-1. But still, at 4-1, no one's going to complain. And if at 111-1, Nelson, stand on my left leg if it arrives too.
And no one's going to complain about any 7 or 4-1 when Chris's 60-1 shot comes bounding home in the 10th race. Chris, I haven't got your bet summarized because you've, of course, done a full preview and people can find that link down below. But if you had to look at all 12 races that you put together, give us maybe your best bet on the card and then perhaps your well, I think we know what your value play is going to be, but give us your best bet and confirm your value play.
Yeah, I've done the value play to bits to death. That's Scalini. I'm with Hilton on Triple Time, and Summer Lily. I'm equally sweet on, and then Questioning. I think is a big runner at the price.
Excellent. Well, the one race that you two are very much aligned on, I think, and I'm just skimming up here, it's Triple Time. That is in race 4. You can get anywhere from 4-1 to 9-2 on that one. So that is going to be great. Well, thanks very much, gents, for joining. We had the odd little hiccup along the way, but I think we got through the card nice and quickly. Certainly, I'm getting excited. Going to definitely be putting together pick 6, and we'll post that in the Good for the Game forum. Hilton, been great catching up with you, and hope to talk some more horse racing with you in the weeks ahead. We always enjoy chatting on Good for the Game, and have a great day at the track tomorrow.
Yeah, great to chat again, Brent. Thanks for having me back after so long.
Excellent.
And I think the last time the three of us spoke, none of us wore glasses.
Yeah. Yes, I can believe that it was quite a while ago. And Chris, great to have you back on. Just quickly, anything else on the weekend? We've of course got the rugby betting show at 4:00 this afternoon. But what do you fancy on the weekend? Anything in the SA20 or anything in the English Premier League for us?
We've been going quite well in the cricket, Brent, despite the rain interruptions, of which there's been a bit too many of. But in all honesty, I haven't had a look now. Just started to look at the football, the English football. But for me, Saturday is just totally dominated by the racing. Hope you have a fantastic day out, Hilton, and win some Tom as well. But it's this weekend's. It starts and ends on Saturday for me, Brent. By Sunday, I'll be in bits.
Excellent. Looking forward to the race, and certainly catching up with the boys over WhatsApp as well. Thanks everyone for watching. A reminder to subscribe to the channel, hit the like button. It certainly helps a lot. And join us at 4:00 Friday afternoon, or catch the replay of the Handicap Rugby Chat That Matters, our trademark live rugby betting show. Thank you, everyone.